Okay, MRP table. Now we are in here. Okay, and we know that actually that every time we do this, we also need to check the capacity. Okay, do the MPS and we check the capacity, and the MRP we check the capacity. When we receive the comparison, so we check and balance, and then something wrong with the capacity, then we need to recheck. We need to do something with our PP, our production plan. Okay, same goes to the MPS and the MRP. But in this chapter 6, as I said, we focus only, and more in the PPC, actually we focus only the MRP part of the capacity resources. Okay. So ni yang I cakap tadi, okay, in the production plan, the check and balance capacity name resource plan. Okay, for the MPS is rough cut capacity plan, and then for the MRP we have capacity requirement plan. Okay, to focus on this. Okay, that one you boleh baca. Okay, this is the important. Okay, which is, this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, this is required. This is what we want. Okay, we want or we required, but this is only what we have. So we need to do something to make sure that what we want is means the output for what we want is delivered based on what we have. Okay, this is what we do in the capacity management. Okay, so all the things going done. Okay. This is the file that we use or we need in order to determine the capacity management. First, we have to know the order quantity. Okay, and then manufacturing lead time. This is more to move, site, setup time, run time. Okay, and then our plan order release, plan order receive. Okay, so where did we get all those things? First, from our bill of material. Okay, so we can see that a component, and then the whole not perspective, the whole things of the product. So we know that, okay, which one is parents, which one is the child, and so on. Okay, so routing file. So in the routing file, this is the routing file. Okay, the example of routing file in our textbook. Okay, here we have name, we have parts number, okay, drawing number, and we have operation number. So in order to do this part, the gear shaft, we need to go into this operation process. Operation number 10, operation 20, operation 30, operation 40, and go next, last one, to go to operation 50. This is our sequence process. Okay, and here is the work center for each of the operation. So for the operation 10, okay, name as a third shaft, we use work center 12. Okay, for operation 20, for mill slot, we use for work center 14. Okay, the for operation number 13, so this is actually the sequence. We need to, after 10, 20, 30, 40, then we go to stocks. Okay, and here is the numbers of work center used. This is the setup time for each of work center. Okay, before we run or we run the production, we need to do some setup. So this is setup time for each work center. Okay, so each work center we have for 12, work center 12, operation number 10, which is turn shaft. We need 1.5 hours. Okay, this is standard hours. This is not, it means 1.5, it means 1 hour 50 minutes. No, this is standard hour. Okay, okay. Later I will tell you. Okay, in the PPC we are using standard hours because we would like to make sure and to get some not some to get the what they call it, the same unit. As we know that okay, the production sometimes in roll, right? In roll, in unit, sometimes in liter ke, barrel ke, something like that. But then in capacity management, we like to have a standard unit. That is why everything we convert into the standard hour. Okay, so set time for each work center, and this is the run time. So it means that for the work center 12, for the turn shaft, the process it takes 0.2 standard hours. Okay, another one 0.25, 0.05, and 0.1 standard hours. This is the run time. This is work in process. Okay, so this is the sample routine. How we look. What we need to look in the sample routine. That is what lah. Okay, and then work center master file. This is work center master file. Okay, we have just now we have 12, work center 12, work center 14, 17, and 3. Okay, so this is the queue days, queue time, wait time, and move time for each work center. It means that okay, it takes okay, mana dia punya ni, this one. What is the queue? Time spent waiting before operation. That is the queue. It means we have product, so the product is need to queue. Okay, setup is what? Setup kita tahu tadi, time to prepare, run is time to make the product, wait time spent after the operation. Okay, let's say after work center 12, we need to go to the work center 13. So what the work progress in the work in progress in the work center 13 is still processed. So the current product need to wait. So that is the wait time spent after the operation, and move transit time between work center. We bring one into the item into one, let's say one machine to another machine. But normally we using this at the arrival time and then at the finish one, at the finish process. Because sometimes, let's say we have some conveyor belt, after finish we need to move into the store. So we use this move for the arrival and the finished one. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so as we can see, that is a queue time in days. So it takes 4 days for the work center 12, 14, 17, 13, and the rest. Meanwhile, it takes we need to wait 1 day before we can start to the another process to another work center. Okay, and then here move day, it takes 1 day after we finish, or after or before we start at the first work center. Before we start here, it takes 1 day. Okay, and then after we finish here, before we move into storage just now, it takes 1 day again to move the product, move the item. Okay. Okay. Then, okay, for the capacity requirement planning input, we actually need this. Not need lah. The input is coming from open order file. So here we know that how many orders and plan order release for MRP, for plan order received, and work center just now, work centers file just now, information on the capacity, move, wait, queue time information just now, and then the routing file. So here, okay, the path that the work we follow means this is the when we know just now which operation come first, which work center, how the standard time of the setup and the run time. Okay, so this is the in our MRP table, this is where the input is. Okay, the plan order received and plan order release. So we take this one 200. Okay, 200. And the order quantity is 400. Mute, please. Anyone, please mute. Saya boleh tak mute kat sini? Boleh mute. Double dan mute dah. Please mute, okay? Okay. So, else. And then, in the sample routing file, this one is the things that we need. We need to know the setup time, and run time. Okay? And this one, the queue time, the wait time, all of this lah. The move time is the things that we need from the work center file. Okay. So for the capacity available, what is the capacity available? It means that what we have. Okay, what we have is impacted by product specification, product mix, method used to make product, and pace of works. Okay, it depends on that, because of, if you can see that the calculation to finding capacity available is focused on available time. Okay, available time, we must know the machine, we must know the operation in hours, and we must know the workers. So the pace of the time for the workers and the machine affected the capacity available. Okay, what else? Product used to make product. So if the product is tedious, it means the process is longer, so on lah. Okay, that's okay. So in the to determine the capacity management, a few things that we need to solve first, or we need to determine first. In order to solve the capacity management, a few things we need to determine first. First, we need to determine the capacity available. Okay, what we need to know, or we need to do in the capacity available, is we need to determine the rated capacity. In the rated capacity, we have these three. We should know the available time, we should know the utilization, and we should know the efficiency. Okay, what is the available time? Is numbers of hours a work center can be used. Numbers of hours is available time. What is the formula? Is machine multiple to operation in hour multiple to workers. Okay, before that, okay, rated capacity is equivalent to available time multiple to utilization multiple to the efficiency. Okay, here. So that is why we need to know what is our available time. Okay, of course, everything is in standard hours. Okay, if you in IM, I think, I'm not sure, in IM you also learn about how to calculate the utilization and efficiency. As you can see that the utilization in IM is more towards the item or the product, because it looks at the input divided by the output. It means let's say the machine can be produce 1,000. However, the machine managed to produce only 900. So the utilization is based on the product of the machine. Again, we cakap in PPC, is it same? This is same with the IM ke apa, cuma we focus more towards the standard unit. That is why we use the standard hour. Okay, we use the standard hour. What in IM, It's more towards the product itself or the machine itself. Okay, the produce, what is the production output and input lah. Okay, so for the utilization, we must know the hours work, and then we divide it by available hours. Available hours is one lah, available time. Okay, so the available hour is this one. Okay. Okay, and then we multiple to 100. Okay, so same goes to efficiency. Is a standard production rate divided by actual production rate. So this is standard. It means that actually the machine or the work center can produce. Let's say we buy a machine, and then they say that okay, this machine actually can produce 100, but actually actual production rate, it depends on the workers and the breakdown, okay, preventive maintenance, right? We have some external factor, okay, so that actually the actual production rate is only can manage up to 70. So we can calculate the efficiency. Okay, so the efficiency is multiple to 100. Then we get that efficiency, and then towards the end we need to determine the rated capacity with multiple that each of this item lah, item formula. So available time multiple to utilization multiple to the efficiency. Okay, so that is one. Okay, but in the capacity available, actually we have two types. First is the rated capacity. Another one, we can find the capacity available based on demonstrated capacity. This is actually based on historical data. We must have historical data. If we don't have any historical data, then we use rated capacity. However, demonstrated capacity is not accurate. It is because of we take an average. Okay, we take average of the produce product. So let's say we have a week, and then we added all the weeks produce product, and then we determine the average. Okay, that is why the rated capacity is much more popular than demonstrated capacity. But then we still have these two types. Okay, to get to finding the capacity available. Yes, settle one. Then we know that how many what is our current situation on the capacity, okay, based on this one. And then now we need to finding capacity requires, means what we want. Okay, what we want. We actually, this is what we call load. Okay, the first thing first, we need to determine actual time. Okay, actual time. This is not the available. This is some sort of available time lah, but in the capacity required. Okay, how to determine actual time, or we call total standard time, setup time plus run time. So we need to know setup time and run time. Where these things, where this information is from the routing file just now. Okay, remember tadi just now kita ada setup time and run time. However, for run time, to determine the actual time, we need to multiple the units or order quantity. This one kita buat order quantity. Order quantity. Okay, order quantity. We need to multiple with order quantity, numbers of pieces in order. Okay, and then we plus, and we got plus with the setup time. Okay, and then we got actual time. That is one. The second one, we need to, okay, sometimes we do not know our setup time and run time. However, we know our efficiency and utilization. Okay, how to get the actual time? We use this formula. Okay, we use the formula. Once we know efficiency, once we know utilization, we can get actual time. Okay, we rearrange the formula and then we get actual time equivalent to capacity required, okay, divided by efficiency and utilization. Okay, sometimes we already know the capacity required, but we don't know the actual time. So you can use this formula lah. Okay, and we arrange the formula and to get the actual time. Okay, so the second one is we need to determine the load. After we know this actual time, okay, so the standard time, so we need to determine the load. It actually is actual time or operation time. Okay, operation time. Okay, so we need to determine the load. So the operation time. Same as tadi kan, setup time plus run time multiple to order time. Okay, or actual this sometimes actual time or total standard time. Okay, and then after we got this, we need to total up required capacity, added all the operation time together. Okay, this one, this is only for one. Let's say we have another one, we have another plan order release, we have for the particular product, we have component A, B, component C, D, E, then we have lots of plan order release, then we add all the operation time together. Okay. This is the example of capacity required. Okay, this is wrong ledger. Load for the week 20. Okay, I'm not yet upload this one in your what you call it, in your author. Okay, not yet. Okay, after this I upload. Okay, so this is the example of the capacity required, how to calculate the capacity required for week 20 only. For week 20, remember, we have MRT, we have 3 period kan, period 1 until period 4. Let's say this is the period 1, okay, in the week 20. So we know our release order, okay, release order for product component 222, component 333, okay, and then plan order component 4444 and 555. So we know the order quantity for each of the component. Okay, this is for each of the component. We know the order quantity, and we also know from the routine file the setup time and the run time. So we need to find the operation time or actual time. So how we do it? Setup time, okay, plus run time multiple to order quantity, and we get the 20. 20 is a 20 standard hours. Okay, it's not 20 minutes, 20 days, 20 hours, no, 20 standard hours. Then again, the rest we calculate and we add for the, because we have different here, we have release order and plan order, so that we add for release order, total up for release order, and we total up for plan orders. And last one, we total up for the whole operation time. So we know that operation time is 152 standard hours. Okay, this is settled. Any question here? How do you get this? Any question? Guys? No, madam. Okay, and then after we know that one, after we do that calculation, we need to do this. We call it this one is apa nama dia, work center. Sorry, lupa nama dia. This is actually sorry, lupa nama dia. Nama dia work center. Sorry. So nama dia work center load report. So this is actually work center load report. So this is load center load report. So if the question asks you what to do this, so towards the end, to make to compare is whether our available and requirement is balanced or not is this one, in work center load report. Here, okay, this is the example that given before this. We are in the week 20. Here, release load 51.5. Okay, again here, okay, this one 51.5, and then our plan load, plan orders is 100.5. So here we have these two, okay, and our total load 152. Okay, and based on our calculation in rated capacity, so it means rated capacity, what is the formula available, multiple to the utilization, multiple to the efficiency, right? Okay, so we got 114. So here at the bottom table, we have over in bracket or under capacity. So it means that if the value is in bracket, it means it is a over capacity. How we get 12? We just divide the total load to the rated capacity. It means the required divide the what we have. What we want, divide the what we have. So we got sorry, silap. Kita kena we need to multiple what we have to what we required. Okay, what we have in our hand. We have 140, and then we divide by the what we required, 152, and then you can see that here we are over capacity for week 20. Meanwhile, for the others week, so same in the week 21 we are same of over capacity. So in and then the rest is is under capacity. So this is the work center report. This is what we want to produce. To look at this one is whether what is our capacity management for the MRP lah. Okay. Okay, until here. Any question? Any question until here? Any question? Guys, any question?
No,
diam tu tak ada. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is load graph or load profile. You have to know how to do this. How to transform from this into this. This is compulsory. You need to know. Okay? You need to know that how to produce this graph. Okay? This is plan load. Okay, let's say like this plan load. Okay? Then we have a plan load, have a release load. And this is the rated capacity, means what we have. So we know that this is over capacity, and this is also over capacity. Okay, this is compulsory. You need to know how to do it. Okay? Okay. Then, what happened? What happened after we know that, okay, this is week 20 and week 21, we have problem with overcapacity. So what? What do we need to do? This is what we need to do. We need to balancing the capacity. We must balance to make sure that between available and load. We must balance out. We must make sure that available can cater the load, or vice versa. Okay, so we have two options. First, we alter the load, or we change the capacity available. Okay, the first option, if we alter the load, it means we shifting order ahead or back so that the load is level. It means here, let's say here, we have problem here, right? Overcapacity. We have problem here, overcapacity, and then we can see that this is here is under capacity. So that we move the over to here, to the under capacity. This is what is alter the load. Okay, we're shifting. Or let's say our in week 24. we have over capacity, so that we know that in week 24 we're going to have over capacity, so that we alter the load, give it to the and week before to make sure that can cater the week 24 overloaded. Okay, okay, that is what is called afterloaded. However, the disadvantage of this option is will affect the whole process component including MPS. It is why in this, okay, we change this order. Okay, every machine is already have their orders, and then we know that we have some overloaded, and then we tell the in week 22, okay, you need to got some extra work to do. Okay, so when we move here, this also need to change, and then it means the process for the other machine is also affected. The other product, the other component waiting for affected, and then towards the end is including our MPS. Okay, so means we need to change a lot. We need to do some revamp. Okay, huge. Okay, that is why we have another option to change the capacity available. We adjust the capacity available, not the load. Okay, because the load is something that we require, but capacity available is something that we have. So the next one is we adjust capacity. Why? With what? How? With overtime and undertime. Okay, we know that here we are over capacity. We have some problem with over capacity, where then we can double up our shift, something like that. Our worker shift. Okay, use overtime or undertime. Okay, so or we adjust numbers of worker. So maybe that we can add more worker. We can not overtime. Apa kita panggil? Part time. Okay, we hired part timer. Okay, or we shift worker from other work center. Okay, as we can see that, okay, which work center is underload, then shift the worker to the overloaded work center, or we use alternative work center to shift load, or we use subcontract. So it means that if you have this capacity, so we only produce until the rated capacity, but the overloaded one, we subcontract to our opponent. Okay, but this is only the theoretical. It's only a theoretical. Okay, in the real time, maybe there's a lot of things to cater and so on. Okay, so this is going to be your tutorial later. Okay, okay, proceed first to scheduling orders. Okay, after we know, we look at our capacity, we know that is whether we can cope or not. What is our actual capacity, actual situation. So, okay, we can do our scheduling order. Okay, scheduling is we would like to know that when is the process going to be scheduled. Okay, when we should start to produce the item. So the scheduling is based on the bukan based lah, we have two type. First is a back scheduling, and second is a forward scheduling. The forward scheduling is the one that's macam kalau in our IM class, we the sequencing method, okay, the sequencing of apa nama tu, operation sequencing kan, job sequencing, or we have mission sequencing. That is the forward schedule. So we start launch the order into the first work center, then use the lead time to find when the order will be completed at each work center. So we start from the first. But for the back scheduling, this is the typical approach. Normally, this is the better approach. This is the approach that likable, okay? Because we start from the back. We start from the when we need to send to the customer, something like that. Send to customer ke something, okay? So we start with the due date. And then we use lead time to find the proper start date for each operation. So in this PPC, we're going to look at this back scheduling. Okay. So this is the characteristic between these two. Okay. So between forward scheduling and backward scheduling. Okay, start when the order is received. Use MRP logic, but this schedule last operation to be completed on due date. So we are using the due date. But here, start when the order received. We just start. We proceed with our process. Okay. Then we finish early. Yes, because we start early. Here, it based on the date lah. Okay. Use to determine the earliest completion date. Okay. I think we stop here. We break 10 minutes. Sebab our webpack is already give some notification that they will take us in 5 minutes. Okay. I think we break 10 minutes. Okay. See you.